Yeah, this is a very interesting process we're going through. We went through this last year. You sat right in that same spot. You specifically went through every appropriation item, line for line. You read right off the sheet. You went through what was legislative, again, and what was appropriation and support items. And it was transparent. It's the process that this board protects: transparency and process, equitable treatment for everybody. So it's advertised. People can come in, speak for or against any of these policy proposals, and this board takes action. And how does the board take action? By motion, ordinance, or resolution. It's the only way you get county approval. There's only one way you do it. And I just heard my colleagues up here talk about when we go to Tallahassee, we do things with specificity. We talked about filtering some of these things. When we go up there, we're all singing off the same sheet of music. So it's transparent what we're doing, what we're asking money for. But that didn't happen for an item, an appropriation item last year. And I think I've been patiently waiting for an appropriate time to talk about it, because apparently there's a new pathway in Charlotte County to get appropriation items and policy issues passed up at the state level. Apparently, if you're powerful and influential enough, you can write your own ticket and put county approval on it. And that happened last year with the Babcock Fieldhouse. We didn't vote on anything. And I sat here and pleaded with my colleagues for 6 weeks that we didn't take any action on anything out at Babcock Ranch. It took 6 weeks of begging this board to do the right thing and send a message. That's not the way we enact policy here in Charlotte County appropriations. You come up to the mic. You say what you have to say. You make your case to the board, and we vote. Our authority, the Board of County Commissioners, was used in the appropriation of $8 million. Never entered this chamber. Not one public hearing, not one vote. And here we sit today, going through the exact same process that we always go through. And we sit here and let it happen. It took me 6 weeks of begging to get the county attorney to finally write a clarification memo, a half measure, not to say that anything was wrong, but to perpetuate it. And I said, this thing is moving at the speed of light. It's half a step from the finish line. And I had to sit here and hear, it's years away, you don't understand, these things take time. I said, are we going to let this sham continue all the way to the governor's office? Guess what, gentlemen? It went all the way to the governor's office on false, phony, and fake documents with our name plastered all over it. On every count, I was 100% correct. I said we didn't take any action. Others said we did. I forced a clarification memo saying we didn't take action. I said this was going to the governor's office. I was told no, and guess what? It went to the governor's office. I'm almost beside myself. And what are the consequences of those lack of inaction by this board? Somebody, a private individual with impunity, rubber stamped our name on behalf of the taxpayers. Think about that for a minute. We are elected and we're accountable. The unaccountable and unelected took the good faith and backing of the people of Charlotte County for their own and rubber stamped an appropriation. The five of us are the only people who speak on behalf of the voters and citizens, taxpayers of Charlotte County. There is no compromise. Our ethics tell us so. We take ethics training every year, gentlemen. And ethics is a measure of our moral character. We are held to a higher standard. We all know what happened. Administration knows what happened because we're the keepers of the process. They administer the process. They know what the process is. You don't think everybody in this building knows what happened? We're not fooling anybody. We set the highest standard in this county as 5 elected officials, and we ask our employees to follow us. And we let this thing go and didn't do anything. So my question is today, gentlemen, this isn't the only pathway to get appropriations and the approval of the board for money, taxpayer money, and policy. There's another way. And you know what that way is? If you're powerful and influential enough, you get to write your own ticket. And maybe you hold a $1,000 fundraiser. Maybe you give campaign donations. And people look the other way. Well, I'm not looking the other way, gentlemen. I know what oath I took. I know my ethics. And I'll tell you what's gone on. Hot off the press, Babcock Ranch. I'm not shocked to know this. They just put out a marketing material about Babcock Ranch. You might be surprised. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. Here's what it says. Through an agreement with Charlotte County, the proposed facility will be turned over to the county emergency operations staff for the duration of an evacuation event to fully control and operate the facility. What agreement does Charlotte County, that's us, what agreement do we have with Babcock Ranch to operate a facility? It's never come in here. This is what goes on with impunity. And the board's going to do nothing about it again. How can you say you have county authority? We're the county, gentlemen. So what are we going to do about it? I'll tell you what. There's a lot at stake here, gentlemen. I can't tell you how much is at stake here for what went on last year. And I can only tell you this. If somebody comes into this chamber, to the People's House, the People's Chamber in Charlotte County, and asks for money, anything to do with this project out there, there's going to be a day of reckoning in this county, a day of accountability like you've never seen. And it's going to be heard from Tallahassee to this chamber to Babcock Ranch. We now know we have Mike Grant, our state representative, who said he doesn't care what this board thinks. He doesn't take orders from us. And we allow developers and people of power and influence to write their own ticket. It's got to end, gentlemen. This nonsense has got to end. Thank you, Mr. Chair.